You can forget the fall. An El Nino winter is coming. What does that even mean? I don't have a clue. So, next weather meteorologist Ahmed Badji is here to break it all down for us. I was like, fall, winter, Nino.
Fall just started.
What?
Yeah, so a lot of this comes about because the winter outlook has finally been published by NOAA.
Yeah.
Right, so they look at a couple of different things. And El Nino, La Nina, things you probably heard since you were a kid.
Long time.
Yeah, a long time. These are not new things. But an El Nino season comes around once every 6, 7 years, really, for a good strong one for us. And it can have some effects.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on who you are and on what you want to see. So what is it? Why is it important to us? All right, so what you have to look at first, El Nino, basically lighter trade winds. La Nina, stronger trade winds. El Nino, you got the warmer, above average Pacific waters right there. Here's why it's important to us. El Nino, it appears strong for this coming winter, and normally that favors below average snowfall. But it doesn't mean that we can't get hit, right? It's Michigan. Now, here's the thing. When we say the jet stream, a lot of times this is what you're thinking of. It's called the polar jet stream. Here's the other thing. There's actually two. There's the subtropical jet, normally all the way down, further down to the south, going through the Caribbean and parts of Central America, right? The polar jet, we see that shift to the north and during the summer and come further south during the winter. In an El Nino winter, like what we're looking at, the subtropical jet stream moves further down into the southern states, and you've got the polar jet even further to the north. As you can imagine, the polar jet brings you polar air. The subtropical jet is quite the opposite. Now, for El Nino in southeast Michigan, most of the time, we're talking 85% of El Nino winters are drier than average. They're also warmer than average. However, in Michigan, I'm going to give you honesty here. I grew up here. I only know Michigan weather and southeast Michigan weather, for better or worse. What that means is, honestly, we still have that good chance at snowfall, but more than likely, you get a better shot at that real wet and heavy type of snowfall when snow occurs.
Right.
Now, a lot of those El Nino winters, yeah, we ended up getting below average snowfall, but that meant 30 or 35 inches versus the average of about 44. So you're still going to get snow. It's just to a somewhat lesser extent. It doesn't mean zero. It's Michigan. Come on.
And I hate to even bring it up, but we also know, being from Detroit, that means black ice.
Ice is always going to be an issue. You actually need some warmer air in order to get things like freezing rain, because you got to bounce around 32 degrees. If you're too cold, like our average in the middle of winter of 28, then you end up with more snowfall. The warmer you are, then you have to watch for ice.
All right. Well, buckle up, folks.
Yeah, well, we're watching it.
Thanks, Ahmed.